Benji. My Instagram is Dr._Benji. I'm a pain relief expert.
Hi everyone, my name is Shireen, also known as Queen Shireen. I'm a registered dietitian, holistic healer, as well as life coach. You can find me on IG under Shishi Makes You Well Shishi _ Makes You Well. Sorry guys. Anyways, and what are we here to talk about today?
We're here to talk about a very important topic called stress management.
I love stress management.
Yeah, and we're all stressed. We all stress every day. It's
Every day, guys.
It's part of our lives, and our objective is to teach you how to be able to combat stress. And we have various topics to discuss. Queen Shireen, why don't you take it over from here?
Okay, so basically, it's pretty self-explanatory, but like, who can actually use stress management tools? All of us.
Everybody.
Literally, I mean, I wouldn't say like a 1-year-old has stress, but in general, children even start having stress, like school-aged children start having stress.
Mm-hmm.
So from any age, anybody can benefit from these stress management tools. It really doesn't have to be a specific person with a specific problem. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who's had like any significant trauma. We are all stressed in this world right now, kind of like you're saying. So
what are some tools that you can utilize to basically get rid of your stress? I'm assuming that we all have either short-term stress and also long-term stress. What's the difference between both?
So there's like chronic stress, which in the times that we're in now, I think people are falling into that chronic stress category. But there's short-term tools that you can utilize, and then there's long-term tools that you can utilize. The short-term tools are usually a lot more accessible, easy to do anytime, anywhere, whereas the long-term tools take a little bit more of an investment. So basically, you want to figure out what tools work for you. You want to kind of have like a nice little toolbox of stress management tools and have them accessible at all times.
That's true. Yeah, for me, I always think of like the toolbox, like throughout our lives and really every single day, there's certain things that no matter what is going to come up, and it's going to stress you out. And you really, you don't have to use the same tool every time. She's going to go over the different types of tools, but you don't have to use the same one every time. There's different ways to combat stress.
Yes.
And, I think it's up to us to be able to teach you and for you guys to understand how to be able to implement the tools based on what kind of stress and what you're going through, and really honestly what works best for you.
Yes. And I just want to start off by saying, like, why is stress bad? So, if you think about it, I mean, we know of it as being something bad, but why is it really bad? Why is it bad on your body, not just your emotional, psychological health, but why is stress hurting people physically? What is it leading to, right? So whenever you're stressed and you have a stress response, your hypothalamus, which is like the control center of your brain, it like freaks out, right? So all of a sudden these stress hormones are being thrown out and your body's in fight or flight response, which is actually helping you survive in that moment of stress. Mm-hmm. So your heart's racing, your breath quickens, it's shallow, your muscles are like ready to fight. So this is your body's protection mechanism. But long-term cases of this fight or flight response can lead to a lot of physical health problems, right? Yeah. So Alzheimer's, heart disease, obesity, lower immune system, depression, anxiety, GI problems, hormonal imbalances, thyroid problems, asthma, allergies. So many things are a result of just poor stress management. Stress is inevitable. It's part of our life's challenges, but what you do with that stress is what we really want to talk about. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention and kind of explain, why is it even bad? Because some people can hold their stress in silently.
Right.
And
you'll be able to bring it out.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell, you know those people that are like, oh, my back, oh, my arm, oh, my stomach hurts. Like, that's all stress. You shouldn't always have something physically wrong with you.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, myself included, that we hold on to it. Yeah. We don't, I mean, obviously, like you can do yoga and other things. We'll go over that, but it leads to a lot of problems that can take people's lives, and you may not even know it. I mean, we know people who, in my personal life, have had cancer, have had heart attacks, aneurysms, strokes, and have passed away from it. And a lot of times they didn't, a lot of times they didn't even have any medical problems, and they just, stress is the silent killer. And so we really have to be aware of how to cope. And before we go into tools, I mean, for those of you who are listening, the majority of you live in LA or in California, and out here, it's a grind in New York City. Yeah. So, just inevitably by living in a very busy city, we're constantly under stress, high rents, high mortgage payments, traffic, we don't have to worry about weather like in other places, but the cost of living in LA is very, very expensive. And I think versus like living in a rural area or like on a farm, you're kind of just, you're taken away from that environment. So
yep. Even keeping up with the Joneses is stressful.
That's it. So what are some tools that they can utilize?
Okay, so let's start with the easiest, most accessible tools. So the short-term tools, that can be basically anything that's going to get you grounded and connected to your body. So guided imagery. Who doesn't like to sit on a beautiful white sand beach with like waves crashing down? You can either listen to like a recording of guided imagery. You could create your own meditation. And meditation's a big challenge for a lot of us, myself included. So the good thing about meditation is the deep breathing. Breathing is involved in a lot of these techniques. Brings yourself back to the present, and then you can get grounded. So what do you hear? What do you smell? What do you touch? What do you taste? What do you hear? Whatever. You are one with your body then. You could do progressive muscle relaxation. So I don't know if any of you have taken like a yoga class at the end of the class where the teacher goes through relax the top of your head, relax your forehead, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. That's all progressive. My phone is like just going through that. And then again, focusing on just breath work. There's so many different, forms of deep breathing, belly breathing, breath work that is so effective in stress management. One of those could be belly breathing, the 4-7-8 technique.
What's the 4-7-8 technique?
You inhale for 4 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. You hold it for 7 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will have a special on this. Taking a walk. Gosh, taking a walk and shutting off that phone, people.
Get out in nature.
Oh my gosh, connect with
out
nature.
Here.
Find a little like garden or somewhere with trees near your house. Take your shoes off and walk on the grass barefoot or walk on the floor barefoot. I don't know if you've ever seen people do that. I used to think they were so weird. Now I know that they were just grounding themselves. Put your phone on like airplane mode or shut it off when you're trying to connect with nature, because it will really help you connect better. If we have those distractions, it's a lot harder.
It's true.
Another favorite of mine is like physical touch, getting a hug from a loved one. It's really, really important for people to have physical touch. And I don't know about you, but when I worked in long-term care facilities or in like the oncology ward, people just wanted me to touch them. Not in a pervy way, but just people were craving physical touch. They felt more sick because the only touch they were getting was someone like a nurse helping them. There was no love, there was no energy exchange. So even during COVID times, think about, we haven't been able to hug or kiss a lot of our loved ones, and it's causing a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah, 100%.
So touching is always good in an appropriate and correct way.
I love that you said that, because nowadays, like, it's, I guess we tend to forget about those types of things, but now that, knock on wood, COVID is slowly beginning to die off, people can start, people can start to, see each other once again, hold each other once again. Even now when we're getting together with all of our family and friends, you're just giving them a little fist bump or this and that, but it'll be so nice to be able to finally embrace and feel that love.
Yeah.
As far as meditation, I use the Headspace app every morning, not Saturday, Sundays. There are some mornings, like when I have surgery, I don't use it, but Headspace is freaking awesome. It's like guided meditation. There's a coach.
I know, I've used it before. It's so
Uh,
and I really need to up my meditation practice.
do you just do it yourself? Like you never?
Yeah, I do it myself. I have morning prayers and I meditate for a little bit. But the app actually really helps, especially for us that like have a hard time shutting things down, which is most of us. So.
Well, how long did it take for you to get into, like, learn how to do it on your own?
Honestly, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Meditation has to be, even though I'm a yoga teacher, even though I've been trying to practice for so long, meditation has to be the hardest thing for me because I live in a very chaotic environment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of traffic noise, a lot of, things I have on my plate. So
Right.
it's really, it never gets super easy. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's always a challenge. It's always going to help you grow.
What about aromatherapy?
I love aromatherapy, you guys. Oh my gosh, aromatherapy in the bath, aromatherapy just on your body, just massage yourself with some lavender, lang-lang, frankincense, lemongrass.
So what's lang lang?
Lang-lang is just an essential
It's such a
oil.
badass name. I love that lang lang.
You know what? Shout out
That's
to
awesome.
my yoga teacher from Equinox, Nick Ventura, who I always post him, but he used to make these mixtures of essential oils at the end of class, and he'd spray it on us while we were in Shavasana. And it was one of my favorite parts of my Saturday. It was like going to church for me. I would go to the yoga class and really look forward to Shavasana. He'd bring a sample, and that's when I realized what Ling Ling was. And he would always mix a few together, and he'd spray it on us. And a lot of people would, politely decline.
Is it a Chinese herb or something?
Yes.
That
So
sounds awesome.
it's some sort. I don't
Lang
know
Lang,
exactly from where, but it has a scent. But
Mm.
I like it. It's very relaxing. You could do lavender. You can do lemongrass if you're more mainstream. But whatever it is, these essential. It doesn't hurt unless you have an allergy to it to try these essential oils. But you want to make sure the essential oils are pure, because when it has a lot of fillers, it could have a reverse effect if it has some sense of toxicity in it. So
Great.
that's just a heads up. Another great way to manage stress short term is doing arts and crafts or creating, using the right part of your brain. So you want to kind of get in that, especially those of you who are very like mathematical, scientific, you want to try to exercise all parts of your brain.
Yeah, get into it. Play piano. Grab that guitar you haven't played in a while and get back into it.
Do arts and crafts, color with your child.
Yeah.
That's a really great way. But sometimes I color with my niece, and she's like, "God, you're so horrible at this." But I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't do this that often, but it's like so soothing for me.
Yeah. Well, I'll be coloring with my daughter, and she'll like stop and go do something else. I'm like, hold on, I'm good. Go play with your mom.
Right.
What about some long-term things that they can do?
So long-term things take a little bit more of an investment, but then again, they have, long-term positive effects. Eating a balanced diet. You guys, food
Clutch.
and mood.
Yeah.
Your blood sugar is going up and down is no for your mood.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell my patients this, because they're like, why am I so tired in the afternoon? I'm like, because you like load up on sugar all morning with your coffee and your Cokes and your this and your that, and you're crashing in the afternoon. So stay away from refined carbs, processed foods, high fat, fried foods. Those things never feel good.
And I love what you said about, you mentioned something before we got on here about positive self-talk, because we always beat ourselves up and we don't give ourselves enough credit, and that by itself can add so much stress in your life. And so be easy on yourself. Like, life is hard, and it doesn't have to be so hard. Like, just give yourself a break, breathe in, relax.
You guys, self-compassion, something that I still work on every day. And that's why I really like doing morning affirmations and evening affirmations, no matter how kooky and strange that sounds. You really need to eliminate that negative self-talk to really be able to have gratitude and be happy about yourself and where you're at in life, and to be kind with yourself and allow for yourself to make mistakes, and tackle challenges.
Yeah. Do you like in the morning, like telling yourself, so I would write down,
So
I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, when you're 6.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
you
write
do
down,
podcast too.
you know what's healthy? No, for real. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Have a journal next to you. I know a lot of people like to do, day journals. Just 3 simple things you're grateful for. And if you don't like writing it down, think about it and just,
gratitude
it makes you feel so much better.
Golden.
Yeah. I think that's a very simple way to, get your mind right and ready to crush the day. I think that's an important part of starting our day right. You start your day off right, the rest of the day, you tackle that in the morning and the rest of the day will go off smoothly.
It's like a sandwich, guys. Morning, meat, afternoon, sandwich.
What did you say about, what did you mean about drawing boundaries? We've mentioned that before.
Oh gosh, you guys, it's a theme of my life. So, boundaries, having a big family forces you to draw boundaries. Having a lot of friends forces you to draw boundaries. Working out in public around human beings forces you to draw boundaries. Boundaries is your number one self-care tool, right? And your self-love tool. When someone is pushing you too far, they're not going to say, oh, I'm taking too much from you. I'm draining your energy. That is your place to recognize that. Draw a nice boundary. Don't overextend yourself. Don't run yourself dry. Make sure your to-do list is realistic. Don't expect too much out of yourself. You are not a machine. You are a human who deserves love and compassion from yourself and others. Cut out additional things that are causing stress for you. If you feel like you're taking away a part of your self-love practice is spending time with your family and you're overworking, you need to take away from that. Is it really worth the extra money that you're making in that hour or 2 hours that you're not spending with your significant other or your family? So you really have to evaluate what is important, where you're going to draw a line. Do you feel drained after you hang out with someone? Tell them, no, thank you. I don't have enough energy to expend today. Those are the kinds of boundaries I'm talking about. And boundaries come in a lot of different shapes and forms. We have to be comfortable enough not to be selfish and rude, but to love ourselves enough to know what our limitations are. And we can do a whole podcast on that. Boundaries.
Yeah, and throughout your life, people are going to come in and you're either going to ask for help or you're going to feel almost like you're forced to be able to help someone. It could even be a loved one, but if you spend all that time and energy taking care of them and you're not taking care of yourself, I think that's an easy way to add stress in your life, right?
Yes.
You're trying to decide, what do I do? What do I do? What's more important? My answer would be you're more important. Take care of yourself first, give to yourself first, and then you can give to other people. But if you don't take care of yourself, your stress levels are through the roof, you don't feel good about yourself, then how are you able to give yourself to the other person?
Exactly. It's just like when you're in the plane and they're like, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your child. I always use this example.
I love that.
But it's really true.
So true.
A lot, we think that's selfish. A lot of it's cultural, a lot of it's societal. I grew up in a culture where we just give, and then you're stripped of everything. And the thing is that you end up lashing out at your loved ones when you overgive them. So you're actually doing them a favor by drawing a boundary. So don't feel bad by saying no, because it's better than you lashing out or resenting them later.
It's a good point.
You win in the end. Something else that I really love to talk about with stress management is something that Dr. Benji is an expert on because he was a trainer at Equinox. Exercise.
Yeah, it's huge.
And exercise, not like forced exercise. This is another thing I tell my patients. Don't pick something that you hate. If you hate the treadmill, that is not the exercise you want to do every day.
I hate that. You're never going to do it if you hate it, for sure.
You have to find something. You could dance.
Mine is golf. I just started picking up golf, and when you're out there in nature, it's quiet, your phone's off so you're not being disturbed, right? You got to focus on hitting the ball. And then, you're out with your best friends, you're connecting with people, you're embracing. That's 5 things I just listed off the top of my head.
I love that.
Physical activity is awesome. She had mentioned yoga. For other people, I have a close friend, Sasha. He surfs in the morning. Surfing is cool. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, go do it.
And that's the thing, is that something that's realistic. You can't say, I'm going to go for an hour run every morning, 7 days a week, when you've never crossed the street. okay? You need to really pick something that's realistic and something that releases the happy hormones. Not something that you feel like someone's holding a gun to your head. That's gonna last about 5 to 7 days, if that even.
I know some people that are my age, like 30, 35, they started gardening. And gardening was like,
I can't wait till I have a garden.
really interesting. I don't garden, but like I can see it because I can see why, because my grandpa did it for like 30, 40 years and he loved gardening. And like, fruits, he would go to like I never told you, like, my dad had 8 brothers and he would go to all their homes and plant grapevines, and it would like make little grapes and stuff. And it was like a tradition. So every time I go home as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, grandpa did that. It's such a cool thing. Gardening's, I feel like it's super underrated. Plus, if something happens, you always have food to harvest, create your own harvest.
My grandfather was very advanced. That's called farm to table these days.
That's right. Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if he's around or not, but God bless him.
Yeah.
That's like, I think about it. I grew up in a house with fruit trees, and my parents were always in the garden. I'm like, what are they doing? It's so hot and uncomfortable outside, and they were so much more relaxed than they are now when their garden has no fruit trees. So, I love that. Also, one other thing you mentioned, yoga.
Yeah.
And then leisurely activities like golf, but like find hobbies, guys.
It's true.
Like,
painting.
Find one hobby, 2 hobbies, something that's going to get you out there interacting with yourself or people or nature, just like the gardening or golfing. So don't feel like you have to just go to work and then go walk on a treadmill that you hate and then go sleep and then go to work and go walk on a treadmill that you hate.
Yeah, that's like clockwork. No way. Yeah, break it up. All right, well, that's about it on stress management.
Anything else?
No, I mean, I'm pretty relaxed now. I'm not really stressed.
Just wait, guys. We're going to do a whole breathing tutorial, and Dr. Benji is going to be our guinea pig. So he's going to be very relaxed after that. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
Tune in for that.
This is me stressed. And then you'll see the after.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Dr. Benji, at Dr._Benji.
Wow, you're a little too relaxed. And I am Shireen, aka Queen Shireen. You can find me on IG handle she_makes you well. And I would love to hear from you guys. We would love some feedback on the podcast. Do you want to hear more of something? Do you want to hear less of something? Do you want me to talk with my hands less? Do you want him to not do this anymore?
Oh, they love that.
I mean, do you want Dr. Benji to stop talking about how he loves himself and talks to himself in the mirror?
Positive self-thought, less stress, more life, less stress.
See you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, Dogecoin.